In this video we will answer a much requested question, and that is how much can the DJI OM4 really handle, and we will see if we can overload it. Hey, what's up guys, Julian from smartphonefilmmakingpro.com here, the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking. And today we will finally find out how much the DJI OM4 can really handle. I've heard from a lot of you that they were having issues with their phone and their DJI gimbal because it was just too heavy and it didn't work. So today I have 3 different phones, I have a case and I have an add-on lens, and we will see how much the OM4 can really handle. And just make sure to watch the video till the end, because there I'll share a little secret what really affects the payload of the OM4 and how you can increase it. And in case you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure to do so to not miss any future content. So on paper, the DJI OM4 can handle up to 290 grams. And when I read that, I thought, well, that's amazing, because this basically includes every phone out there. Well, except maybe for a folding phone, but I do not have one of those. But as I've said, I have 3 different phones with 3 different weights, and I also have an anamorphic add-on lens that can just be clicked onto any smartphone. So I would say let's not waste any more time and let's try out the different phones and see if it works or not. So first off, I would say let's just start with the naked phone. I'll just take the iPhone X here, and here I have the clamp, and I'll just put it onto the smartphone, align the dots, turn it on, and as you can see, this works no problem. So next up is the iPhone 12 Pro, and this comes in at about 187 grams, so a little heavier than the iPhone X, but since this has 2 skins, so a back skin and a screen protector on the front, this might even be heavier. So this is the iPhone 12. And you probably already know the result, but let's just turn it on. And yeah, as you can see, also handles it no problem, works flawlessly. And the last phone I have to test naked is the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. This is the heaviest of them all and comes in at just about over 200 grams. So again, just put the clamp onto the phone, and yeah, as you can see, there is not too much space there, but it is enough. And see if it also works horizontally. And yeah, so as you can see, this works basically no problem. So in my opinion, the OM4 can basically handle every smartphone if it is naked. So if you do not have an add-on lens or a case, no matter what phone you have, you should be pretty much good to go. The heaviest phone I know is the iPhone 12 Pro Max, coming in at about 230 grams. But to be honest, if you just use the phone with no add-ons, it should work no problem. And I'll try to get my hands on an iPhone 12 Pro Max, so definitely subscribe if you haven't already. So next up, let's try an iPhone X with a case on it. So as you can see, I have an iPhone X and a case, so I'll just put it into the case, and I have a kitchen scale right here, so I can check just very briefly how heavy this setup is. And this setup comes in at about 240 grams, so just a little heavier than those 2 phones, but not as heavy as an iPhone 12 Pro Max. So I would say let's just try out if it still works. We have the clamp here, put it over. You know, when using a case like this, it's a little hard because it doesn't fit that nice. So when you are using a case, basically I would recommend that you use the second tool that DJI delivers you, that you can just put directly onto your case. But as of right now, just for this test, I will just use it like this and see if it still works. Turn it on, and as you can see, so iPhone X Plus case does still work without any issues. So next up, let's test the add-on lens. And I would say let's just use the lens and the heaviest phone that we have, because if it works with the heaviest one, it will definitely also work with the lighter ones. So I'll just pick the Note 9. I'll use the add-on lens, just clip it onto here. And by the way, in case any one of you is wondering, this is the Alanzi anamorphic lens, or however this is pronounced, and full review to this lens will come very soon. So we have mounted it, And here we have the clamp. Just put it over. Fits very nice. We just align the dots. Turn it on. So yeah, landscape, it works no problem. And also horizontally. So as you can see, even with the heaviest phone that I have, it just works no problem. So I think it does not make any sense to use it, to try it out with those. But we still have the iPhone X with a case, and we can also put the add-on lens onto this one. So far the OM4 handled all the tests pretty nice. No matter if we were just using the phones or the phone with an add-on lens or the phone with a case, it pretty much worked flawless. But now let's make the ultimate test. Now we will take the iPhone X plus a case, and we will also use the add-on lens. And I'll just attach it to the iPhone X. And since I do still have the kitchen scales with me, I'll just see how heavy this setup is. So this all in all comes in at about 254 grams. So this now truly is by far the heaviest, and also comes pretty close to the max payload that DJI claims the OM4 has. And just holding a setup like this, you can actually feel that this is a very heavy setup. But before we test this, I just want to talk very briefly about smartphonefilmmakingpro.com. We are the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking. So if you love taking videos with your smartphone, you should definitely check the first link below the like button, and that will bring you to my totally free webinar. In the course we currently have over 50 videos, over 4 hours of super high valuable content, free downloads, a lifetime access, and a virtual mentorship from my team and myself. So sign up now and make sure to check out the exclusive webinar deal. But now let's get back to the payload of the OM4. So as I've said before, this is a very heavy setup, and what is still missing is the clamp. As I've said before, with a case like this, it doesn't fit really nice, but for this test it should work. And now let's turn it on and see if it can handle it. And yeah, actually, you can feel that the motors are working a little harder than normal, but as you can see, it also can handle a pretty heavy setup like this. So what's my conclusion? If you want to get a gimbal for your smartphone, as of recording of this video in December 2020, I would recommend that you should get the OM4. I do have 2 different comparisons to other gimbals on the channel, so if you are interested, you can check it out. But overall, this is the most convenient one that you can get. If you plan to use the gimbal with your phone and no add-ons, you'll probably be very happy. And if you have a lighter phone, like for example an iPhone 12, and maybe want to use an add-on ND filter or something like this, or an anamorphic lens, it should still work no problem. However, if you want to use a case and an add-on lens, things become pretty difficult. A lot of people have been asking me if they could use a moment case with a moment lens, and to be honest, this is probably not the best idea. I mean, just as you saw, the gimbal handles a lot, but at some point it's just too much, especially when you are using a super heavy phone like the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And just as I have promised at the beginning, I will now tell you what really affects the payload of the gimbal. And the first thing that really affects it is the position of the clamp. I know DJI claims that you should center it, but it also depends. Like for example, if you are using an add-on lens, you have to change the position of this clamp a little bit just to get it more balanced, or just to get it better balanced. And the second thing that really surprised me, that really changed the payload of the gimbal, is the temperature. I know this sounds weird, and I also have never heard about that, but a few days ago I was shooting an outdoor workout scene here in Austria, and we were filming at about 0 degrees Celsius, and I was using the iPhone 12 Pro combined with the anamorphic lens. So it was the exact same combo that I showed you just a minute ago that worked perfectly with no problems whatsoever. And due to the cold weather, I actually had to try it a few times before it finally worked. I was putting the phone onto the gimbal and it was just like falling over, just as if it would be too heavy. So the temperature that you are filming in definitely makes a huge difference, and that is something that you should definitely keep in the back of your mind. And in case you have a smartphone and you use an add-on lens and you still find yourself having troubles, I would definitely recommend that you change the position of the clamp, kind of like helping the gimbal so that it doesn't have to work as hard. But there you have it, guys. That's how much the OM4 can handle in real-world conditions. I hope you found it helpful, and as you've seen, it actually can handle very much. Unless you have a super heavy phone and you use super heavy add-on lenses, you should be good to go. But I hope you found it helpful, and if you guys have any further questions, as always, please let me know.